Hi, my name is John Fairley, and I am on the road and not going very far over to Joe St. Louis. It's a big building. Didn't know what was in this place. It is where Windsor Music Theater is. It's unbelievable. 70 years in our community. There's been volunteers that you're going to meet today. You're going to meet some actors, singers, dancers, and see what truly community is all about when you talk about 70 years of Windsor Light Music Theater. So let's talk about just some of them. Maybe you've seen some of these shows. Let's hear about The King and I, Camelot, Bye Bye Birdie, The Merry Window, Finnegan's Rainbow, Oklahoma, Annie, Showboat, My Fair Lady, Hello Dollies, The Most Happy Fellows, South Pacific, Pirates of Penzance, Carousel. Now, if you haven't seen those shows in Toronto, and you've seen them maybe even in New York, or you've seen them in our own Chrysler Theater on Riverside Drive, those are the shows and this type of shows that for 70 years they've been performing by volunteers all over Windsor and Essex County. So today on Face to Face, we're on the road, on the theater. We're learning about the 70-year history of Windsor Light Music Theater. In celebrating anything going on with Windsor Light Theater, you got to go to the top. So I guess the top for Elf is not Santa Claus, it's not Buddy the Elf, it's the director. And I want to welcome Mario Cascara. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm telling you, Mario, you got a big shoes to fill. We got 70 years of Windsor Light Theater, 70 years. You're carrying this torch for Elf, and you're the director. How much pressure is on Mario for the next couple months?
It's enormous pressure. It's a great honor and a privilege that I take very seriously, and I've had some great mentors in the process. So it's been so I feel like I'm prepared for it.
Okay, so 15 years you've been with Windsor Light. What was your first show, and build us up to before you get the tap on the shoulder of you're going to be the director of Elf this year. So let's talk about some of the things you've done.
For sure. So it was 2003, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I was a chorus member, and for a few years I was kind of in choruses for different shows. Then I started to kind of venture into maybe some lead roles. So I did things like Bert from Mary Poppins, and Emmett and Legally Blonde. Then I started to kind of get a bit of a feel that maybe directing was something I'd be interested in. So I started to assistant direct. So that was kind of the process I took. So I assistant directed Sister Act, The King and I, Mamma Mia. And
wow, those are big shows.
Yes, and the second Joseph we did. So so I assisted those, and then I was kind of just waiting for the right show that I felt that I would be ready to take on. And Elf was announced that was going to be our 70th anniversary show, and I thought this was a great opportunity.
So what's the process, though? How do you get the job? I mean, is this like elections where everyone votes? There's a secret ballot, white smoke, black smoke? What goes on? Like, how do you get selected?
So because I had assistant directed, I was put into the director pool, and they and whatever director is interested, we have to put a proposal together. So with our vision of the show, things that we want to see the show, and so there's a few other directors that put in. So we do it to our show selection, and they get to kind of choose the director they feel fits the show the best, and then they bring it to our board of directors for final approval.
That's great. So when you look at when you were part of the show, were you always watching the director? Like, were you always kind of watching how they were doing and what it's so kind of learning when you're part of a chorus or one of the other roles?
Absolutely. That was you learn from all different directors, and I think I try to take the best from all of them and incorporate them into my directing style. So it really was those mentors that prepared me for this. So
how much opportunity are you to change anything? Now, we have seen movies, and we've maybe been to New York or Toronto and seen the show. What is different that what you're doing? How much leeway do you as a director have to keep whatever you've bought as copyright for the show?
For sure. So the script we have to keep the same, so that has to stay the same. But then our interpretation of maybe a set design or costumes and things like that, we have our own liberties with. But the script has to stay too. We have to stay true to the script.
Now, is there kind of like theater police coming and watching what you're doing? We'll be sneaking in the top of the Chrysler Theater in the last row, taking pictures and videos and make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be? Or do you have to submit tapes of the show or anything?
No, it's just it's our integrity. I think that's the most and foremost, that we are going to stick to the script and stay with what's there.
Okay, so tell us, if we've never heard of Elf and hadn't seen the movie or seen another production, some high schools have done this show also. Tell us about the story of Elf and Buddy and what makes this the one to come to in our 70th year.
Well, this is a story. It's based on the movie that everyone knows, and the storyline does follow that pretty closely. And it's just now that we've added some big spectacles, some dances, some cool special effects, and I think that's what makes it endearing. It's a show that has heart, and it dazzles, and it gives that message that you're never too old to believe, and that the importance of family. So I think people are in for a big treat when they come see the show.
You got to be thrilled. When we look at some of the people that have been part of this, I mean, we've talked to Jack and a few other people who've been part of this for years, like decades. You got to be thrilled to be part of this family they call Windsor Light Theatre.
Yes, it definitely, and you're just right. It is a family, and I was lucky that I was accepted and I was groomed to do this position now, and it really is a family, and it's the best place to be.
One other question. On face-to-face, I have all these questions, but let me just ask you, do people try to get a better role, like they bring you cakes or cookies or special sweets or special what you'd like to eat, and you get, I'd be a great...
Well, sometimes there is, some we call some sucking up, but at the end I have to pick the best person for the role, and that's a tough job. But
very diplomatic, very Mary, congratulations, and taking it to the 70th year. A lot of pressure. Yes. You're going to do well. You've got a lot of experience, and again, a lot of foundation already built on this.
Absolutely.
All right, looking forward to it. That's our director, Mario Cascara. Thank you, Mario. All the best.
Thank you.
Go break a leg or break somebody else's leg.
Thank you.
Maybe the point of the story is it's never too late to grow. It's never too late to grow. It's the story of Buddy the Elf. It's the story of Buddy the Elf. It's the story of and the most fire on the shelf. It's the story of Buddy the Elf. I love it, I do. I love it, I do. I love the story, love the story, love the story. He loves the story, love the story, love the story. He loves the story, love the story, love the story. It's the story of Buddy the Elf. It's the story of Buddy the Elf. It's the story of and the books will fly right off the shelf. It's the story of Buddy and the book of the story of Buddy.
Okay, if you're going to talk about Elf, you better go to the Elf, and this is Buddy the Elf, and it's also Ryan Turgeon. You said that right?
You did say that right. It was pronounced Buddy. You got that right.
Your last name, what is it?
Turgeon.
Oui. Oui, bonjour, comment ça va?
That's all I know.
That's all I know,
Oui.
trust me.
Yeah.
And I'm running a college, that's a whole other story. Anyways, so how long have you been with Windsor Light?
I would say about 5 or 6 years so. I've had a lot of fun with Windsor Light Music Theatre. They've been very good to me. Great community theater outlet for anyone who's local and who can sing and dance or attempt to sing and dance. It's a great place to be.
Why this role for you this time?
Why this role for me? Well, Yellow Tights had me at Hello. So my mother, who's a Christmas nut, said, if you don't get this part and you don't audition for this part, you're not getting gifts. So I auditioned, I had a great time, and luckily Mario gave me a chance. So
let's talk about the process, because you've been leads in other shows, right? Tell us about some of the background. You've been in chorus and that.
Many years ago, I'm a teacher. My grade 12 class convinced me to audition. So I said, okay, I'll try it. And I landed the part of King Arthur in Spamalot, one of the first shows I did, the first show I did with Windsor Light. And I've had a chance to do The Cowardly Lion and The Wizard of Oz. I've had a chance to do the Pharaoh of Egypt and Joseph in the Dreamcoat. I'm sweating like a reindeer in heat right now in this hat. Sorry. A lot of great chances. And Gaston and Beauty and the Beast as well. Good. So, yeah.
So when you go for a part, tell us the process. So you see it's going to be Elf. There's only one other than Santa Claus. But
Sure.
we're going to talk to Santa Claus later.
Yeah.
But we've already dealt with him. But how do you go for that role? Tell us the process that you wanted Buddy and you had to get Buddy. what's the process of being the lead?
I got myself a Subway footlong. I watched Elf, the movie, about 5 times. I gave myself a pep talk in the mirror, and I just came and I gave it my all, and I had fun. And the 2 guys they're in the show. They're all in the show, but it was down to the bottom 3 or top 3, and we're all very good guys, talented. I just hope to think that my stature and my legs and a yellow pair of tights and I don't know what else helped me out.
Sure. Best part of the show, I know that's going to be the whole show, but what is the scene that people got to come to see because you are rock solid on that one scene? What is the scene in Elf that Buddy is part of?
When it's not eating maple syrup covered spaghetti, it's going to be sweating my yellow tights off in Sparkle Jolly Twinkle Jingly, one of the big Act 1 numbers. Really fun, great number. Kate did a great job choreographing that number. We're all really proud of it.
All right. Well, I didn't know there was food involved. I'm really going to come. I didn't know there was food involved here.
Well, 5 major food groups of the North Pole Candy Kingdom is cookies, candy canes, candy corn, and syrup. 5 major food groups.
I'm telling you, Ryan knows this stuff so well. Buddy, this is him. Buddy, come watch him. 70th year. Don't you miss it. We're with Maria Ducharme, and Maria plays Jo V in Elf. Listen, you had a birthday. Everyone's singing happy birthday. This is really a family. I have not known of this empire that's here on Joe St. Louis Avenue in Windsor, of what's going on, and it's been really amazing to see the work being on one floor, the singing, the camaraderie, and meeting some of the people who've been part of these things for years. So what's your history with Windsor Light?
Well, I'm actually one of the newcomers here. This is actually my first year doing a show with Windsor Light, as it's my first year doing a show in Ontario, actually.
And what's your training?
Well, I grew up singing and dancing for years, competitively and non-competitively. I was fortunate to have parents in the trade that sing and dance. My mom is a piano and voice teacher, and my dad's a drama teacher. So I was very fortunate to have that experience growing up.
So when you walk into this place and see these people been here, like the one gentleman we spoke to, Jack McGarry, 44 years, Norma Coleman, 20-some years, Mario, 15 years. You're really a new person. So you feel part of the family already?
I do. They have made such a warm welcome here for me. It's been an amazing experience. I feel welcomed in as one of the team. I don't know very many people out here in Ontario, and it's been wonderful to actually create some real friends here.
Where are you from?
I grew up in BC, but I spent the last 10 years working on my degree in Edmonton.
Nice.
And starting out my career there.
Well, we'll try to get some good snow for you. But talking about snow and Elf and, Christmas, how about that? That's how we do it on my show, just working all the good things. Let's talk about your character, Jo V. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, Jo V comes from LA. She has moved to New York, I think, to just try to get somewhere else in life. She's never seen snow before, and she's always dreamed of snow. And she's been here for almost 2 years in New York City, and it still hasn't snowed, so she's very upset about that. And she meets Buddy, and she's just kind of over the Christmas thing. She's just given up. And I think Buddy ignites a spark in her, and she comes around and realizes just how much Christmas spirit she really does have. And he opens up her heart, and she starts to sing.
Wonderful. So growing up, what was your favorite Christmas gift of all time? What was the gift that you've ever gotten? You always remember, either as a kid or recently. What was the best Christmas gift you ever had?
I think it was the year when I was turning 7. I asked for a pink frilly dress with flowers and all boy toys. I didn't want any girl toys, but the girl in me still wanted the dress.
All right, and Rock'em Sock'em robots or something like that too. Good fun. Thank you very much, Maria, and congratulations on being here for first year. Newbie we talked to. It's going to be a great show. And again, you could be a part of this. Please go to the Chrysler Theater. We're putting all the information up. So don't miss the 70th year of Windsor Light Theater. Jo V is here, and she may like Christmas by the end of the show. Let's watch. What a thrill for us to be with Jack McGarry. Jack have been here, I'm telling you, 44 years.
Yes, started in 1974 with Fiddler on the Roof.
44 years of Windsor Light. Now, there has been different names, right? It wasn't, we know it as Windsor Light. So
Yeah.
tell us of what it was originally and how we changed the name.
Originally, it was Windsor Light Opera because they did a lot of light operas. In like 1980 or so, we decided to change it to Windsor Light Music Theater because a lot of people would say, opera, I don't think I want to go see something like that. So we did, and we were also then getting into more Broadway shows and doing pretty much exclusively Broadway things.
Well, the thing is, when you go back in the history of 70 years in our community, I mean, one name we always hear is John Watson. So tell us what made John Watson so passionate about really being a part of day-to-day with Windsor Light.
Sure. John Watson was a founding member. He and a group of people who were tired of going to Detroit to sing in their operatic societies decided to start one here in Windsor. So they started in 1948 and did the Pirates of Penzance.
See, I was going to ask you. That was the trivia question.
Collegiate.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And it just took off from there. And we've been doing 2 shows every year, spring and fall, since then. And John had a real passion for music and singing. And he had his finger in just about every facet of the production.
And we have seen on your TV and the Cogeco Cable Network, we've seen some old history and some archival footage and stuff. And that's been kind of neat because he really was into everything, right? I mean, he was a star, he was a director, he yelled, he screamed, he banged and cheered, and he also embraced good work. I think that's important, isn't it? As you as a volunteer, right?
Yes, very much. Yeah, it's a great hobby. And the nice thing is that we do shows 2 a year, and you can do other things. It's just a Monday and Thursday rehearsal, and then closer to showtime. So where other groups do shows in 6 weeks, it really takes up a lot of your time. But Windsor Light is a great place to be.
44 years, I got to ask you, you got to have favorites. What was the show that, Jack, you were, like you said, this is the best show I've ever done? What was it?
It's probably Roger Debris and the Producers. That was fun. Also Sancho in Man of La Mancha was a highlight.
Now you got a little bit of do going here. Now I know this year is Elf. Do you already have your part picked?
Yeah, I'm playing Santa.
And so with this, I guess the key is when you see someone perform, and we've seen over the years Windsor Light and everything, what is the key for an actor who has to know your lines, probably know everyone else's lines? What is the key to memorization you have found?
Oh, just do it over and over, repeat, you know, and it really helps when you're acting against someone else and then delivering those lines. Yeah, it's not easy.
I bet.
It's difficult.
So Elf, Santa, what is the scene that we're going to see you in that we're saying, oh, we heard about that scene? What is the scene you're looking forward this year?
I think the finale of this show is pretty spectacular. I think people are going to just get out of their seats when they see it.
So as someone who's been part of this for 44 years, why does someone volunteer? Why do people behind us and are doing this thing on a weeknight? Why the love and passion?
Well, because it's a great hobby. And it's fun. It's something that if you love theater, it's something that you can do and in your spare time. And we're a big family, actually. That's the main part.
Well, give us a ho, ho, ho before we go. So, Jack McGarry, thank you for all your 44 years of volunteering. You're not giving up, right?
No.
All right, well, get your camera right there. Go ahead. Do what you got to do.
Ho, ho, ho. Come see Elf.
Thank you, Jack McGarry. More right after this.
Dazzle! I can't lie, it makes me tingle! Sparkle, Johnny, twinkle,
Hi, now we're going to talk about the business of Windsor Light Theatre, and I'm with Norma Coleman. Norma, you've been part of theatre for a lot of years of your life.
I have. With Windsor Light, I've been a member since the early 90s. So
I've always wanted to interview ladies who are going for a few years. Yeah.
about 25 years.
And you've been community theater as well, too, right?
Yes, I've done some with a number of other companies as well, but I always seem to come home to Windsor Light.
And when you look at it, 70-year history, I mean, it's just incredible. Anything in our community, Windsor, Essex, to have 70 years, faithful people. When you look at, and I've talked to some of the people that have been here already, and all the things that they just passion, hey? There's just nothing, there's no one paid here. It's all passion.
Right, yeah, it is. It's just quite remarkable, actually. And I think people here who have been members for a long time really take that very seriously, that they've been passed on this legacy from John and all through the years. There's been a very small crew, nucleus of people who have really kept the company going, and other people have come in and gone on to other things or moved out of the city or on to other things, but there is a really passionate group of people who...
And this is all the show business we're seeing, and you're going to see some pictures a little later of people working hard doing set design and banging and hammering and painting. That's a whole nother division here.
Yes, hair, makeup, set, costumes, box office, everything is done right here on one site. So Windsor Light is just so fortunate to have its own facility where we can construct the sets and do everything right on one site.
So the key message for those that want to support this has come out, right? I mean, this year is Elf. Everyone gets it. It's a great holiday show, but every show seems to be the one that everyone wants to be a part of and can enjoy in the audience, all ages.
Oh, absolutely. And the company is only as strong as the people who come to see the shows. We don't get money from anywhere else. It's all ticket sales and very loyal and dedicated audiences who come time and time again. And if you come once, you'll be hooked and you'll come again.
And not bad, the facility you're using, right? The Chrysler Theater's okay?
Absolutely.
All right, I had to get all that.
A great facility, great stage, backstage.
And the other thing is too, Norma, when you look at this, is when you look back at your career in theater, what was your most fun part of the chorus or star, or when you've had a role? What was that when you were there?
Oh, wow. I've been a part of a lot of chorus and ensembles with Windsor Light, and I think one of my favorite roles was when John Watley cast me in Sister Act about a year and a half ago, and I got to play a character that probably isn't a big stretch for me, Mother Superior. So I got to boss a bunch of nuns around, so it was pretty good. I actually wanted to keep the outfit and wear it to work. I thought it was a good look for me. So.
That's a good look, that's right. And you would be Mother Superior in certain roles. But we thank you for your volunteer time, because this is, she's the president, but also this is all volunteer, right? I mean, this is what's really unique and what makes Windsor, Essex so special. Whether it's volunteer this or volunteer for charities, this is unbelievable. Watch I've seen tonight.
It's great, but it's more than being on stage or backstage, or in my case for this production, under the stage in the pit chorus. This truly is a family, and there are lifelong friendships established here. And for me personally, I come back because that's so important, that all of these people have become friends and family, and they get you through hard times and wonderful times, and we celebrate together and we grieve together, and we celebrate marriages that have come together as a result of meeting with the company. So it really is such a wonderful family experience.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention Hal Sullivan. We lost him this past year. He made his transition, but I know he was part of this for a lot of years, and so maybe just something about Hal Sullivan.
Well, Hal was one of a kind, and he played a lot of historical characters throughout the years, and he had such an institutional knowledge, not only about the city, but the company as well, and he was just one hell of a guy. I can't put it any other way. I just loved him personally, and we miss him terribly.
Yeah, we do. But again, he introduced a lot of people, friends of his, about this. So thank you, Norma. All the best. I think you got to get in there. So what's your role other than being president? What do you got to? Are you overseeing everyone? Are you checking? Like, what is your role in president?
Well, just the business end of the company, and making sure that all the departments are functioning and they're on budget and on time and doing all.
Oh boy, see how it all bleeds over? It all bleeds over. Thank you, Norma Cohen. All the best, and congratulations on your 70th year. It's going to be a great year. Thank you for being here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our time learning about Elf, but more importantly, learning about 70 years of Windsor Light Music Theater. And I'm telling you, they're getting ready. Ooh, Elf is going to be coming. Christmas is coming. But thank you to everyone who is part of today. Thank you to all these volunteers. 70 years in our community, Windsor, Essex. I don't want to lose this. See you next time on Face to Face.